Hi everybody, I'm Olivia Smart and let's talk everything beyond the ice and beyond the rink. Welcome back. This is episode 5 of whatever this is, but not for long. You guys are going to help me choose a name today. So I asked you all for some advice and for some inspiration on what you thought this could be called, because I've been calling it whatever this is for the time being. We're on episode 5. I think it's time we make a decision, or at least the top ones. Guys, I have them all written down and John-Luc and I went through them last night. There's a lot, but we have 4 top ones and one extra little contender at the end just for fun. So the top podcast contender names is, drumroll please, Live the Dream, that is L-I-V, The Dream, my nickname. The Smart Talk Show, whatever this is, again, or Smart Casual. So back again, we have Live the Dream, The Smart Talk Show, whatever this is, and Smart Casual. John-Luc really thinks I should go with Live, Laugh, Love, like L-I-V, Laugh, Love. That's so not me. It's so cheesy, but would be very, very funny. So we have 4 top contenders. I'm going to do a poll on my Instagram, and I want you guys to comment on the podcast video on YouTube here and just tell me your top favorites. I know a lot of people really like whatever this is because it really is like whatever this is. We're not just talking ice skating about me. We're talking about literally everything possible, and I blab on, so we're going to be talking about whatever we want. But I do like the idea of using my last name Smart because it's smart and it just makes sense. Like I literally have the last name of a podcast show. It's a pun, like use it. And also Live the Dream, L-I-V. Smart Casual makes sense because that's literally what this is. Last name Smart sat here and this is the most casual scenery you could possibly see. Like I have my dog taking a nap right next to me. It's very casual. So we have the 4 top contenders, and if you guys could comment your favorite, and I'll do a poll on my Instagram, and hopefully we'll have a final name and answer to move forward with this. I also made a tea in my favorite mug. Let me just check out my Uber Eats. We're good. It's currently my easy day, so I'm in limbo of I gotta go train, but I'm also like hanging out at home talking to you guys. Okay, so by the time you're watching this, I will already be in Finland for our Grand Prix and our last Grand Prix and the last Grand Prix of the Grand Prix circuit. So by the time you're watching this, I'm already at competition. It's competition week. And this competition is about to be juicy. This competition is literally a mini Olympics. You have some of the top teams in ice dance competing head to head at this one event, and anything can happen. Anybody could be on the podium. Anybody can be anywhere. There's going to be movement. There's going to be drama. There's going to be great skating. For a spectator's perspective, like this is the event that you want to be watching. Like one of my coaches was like, I might go as a spectator, not as a coach this time. So this competition is a bit, as we just said, juicier than usual because there's so many of the top teams, especially in the ice dance event, so many top tier teams that all fit into this small group, and scores have been all over the place this season. So anything can happen. Anybody could be going to the final at this point, and it's really exciting, I think. Instead of ice dance having the narrative of, this person's going to go to the final, this person's going to win. Like, there's always been this thing in ice dance of you kind of climb the food chain, and then once you're at the top, you're at the top. But you have to serve your time in order to do that. Well, I think that might be changing a little bit. I think it's whoever delivers on the day, and it makes it more interesting, especially for ice dancers and ice dance fans. There's a lot of movement, and we've seen that this season so far, and it's whoever comes out on the day, delivers the best performance, and they're on top, and I guess that's how it should be. But Finland especially is going to be interesting. We're going to see what happens, and we're not far out from the Olympic Games at this point, so between Finland and the Grand Prix final and the Olympics, it's such a short space of time, but so much can happen within that space of time. So a lot of people are not skating and competing right now at this time in the season at Olympic winning level. They're competing right now at this time of the season in like how they're ready, because they want to peak in February, not next week or this week during competition week. So people are at different levels of training and people are at different levels of competing, and people work differently, and it's to some people's advantage and disadvantage. So yeah, I'm going to protect myself a lot going into this competition. It's a big one, but Tim and I's mentality going into this is just skate for us, skate how we've been training, and just focus on us. And we like to stay in our bubble quite a bit because there is a lot of drama around the sport in general when you go to events. But I think for us, our main focus is us and focusing on us as a team, our mental health, our physical health, and just having no expectations because, like I said, anything can happen. And we just want to go out there and perform, put on a good show for the crowd, for the judges, and do what we've been training and do what we know we can do. My grandparents are coming to this event from England. They're coming to watch the event. They're coming to see me. So it'll be very special to have them there with me and to see me back on the ice in Finland. My grandparents come to a lot of events. They're, of course, older, but they love to travel. And they have traveled to more skating competitions than a lot of people in my family and friends. And they're my biggest fans. They always, every single event, have a big Spanish flag with a Sharpie pen written Olivia and Tim on it. And they did the same with Adrian and I. They've always done it. So you can always spot where my grandparents are in the crowd. My granddad always shouts, "Go on, Livs," right before I go to skate. So I always know that they're there. And I can hear them in the crowd. And it's amazing. It's the fact that my grandparents get to travel the world and see me do what I'm doing while they're still healthy and able to travel and also willing to. It's incredible. They've probably traveled just as much as I have, but they still, to this day, don't collect air miles. My uncle just moved to Thailand not long ago and is officially moving there, bought a house there. They go and visit him in Thailand. Like, that's a long trip from the UK, but they love their family. They'll do anything for their family. And if that means traveling halfway across the world for them, they're going to do it. So the next competition my grandparents will get to see me at is the Europeans in January. But first, they're going to come to Finland and enjoy the juicy competition there. And not just the ice dance events are packed, like the women's event, the men's event, the pairs event. This whole Grand Prix, it's the last Grand Prix of the circuit. And it's like, they were like, oh, let's just put everything and everybody in this one. So it's a bloodbath, but it's going to be very, very fun. My Uber driver is on his way with my food. Okay, so the training up to Finland, from our first Grand Prix in China to Finland to now, to this day, a lot has happened. A lot has changed. I was sick for a hot sec, so I had a week of, I don't know, just trying to find my feet and getting back on my health track. We also made a lot of changes to one of our routines, our rhythm dance. Moved some things around, changed some elements a little bit. And that's always tricky at this time in the year because you don't want things to be too unfamiliar because you still have to go out there and perform it even though it's brand new and uncomfortable. So we've really been focusing on drilling those changes, a lot of repetitions. And yeah, we're in a good place. We had a couple of rocky days, or should I say I mean me. I had a day where I came into the rink. I woke up fine, and this was on a Thursday. I woke up fine, came to the rink, started warming up off ice, and immediately was hit with this huge anxiety wave. Like, I've had anxiety before in small amounts. Anxiety meaning like nerves more for competition. I can't really say I've ever had like an anxiety attack or anything that's too scary. On this day, I got on the ice and I was like short of breath. I was really anxious. I felt like I could cry at any second, like anything would trigger me. And I felt like I was just protecting myself so much. And immediately Tim spotted it. He knows me very well. He spends every day with me, so that makes sense. And I opened up to him and just said, hey, like, I'm just feeling really, really anxious today, and I have absolutely no idea why. Like, I'd love to tell you and I'd love to know myself. I woke up fine. I had a fine night sleep. There's nothing that's changed. And that lasted for the full 3 hours of our training day on the ice that day. I was a wreck. But I also didn't want to just not do my day. I had to train. Like, I'm going to put on a hard front and still train. But I was on the edge of tears on every single step that I took. I opened up to my coaches about it, so they were aware when I was in a lesson with them, so they didn't think, is she okay? Like, what's she doing? I was a mess. I was a wreck, but I had to work through it, especially because we had made so many changes and we are short on time for training from China to Finland. And yeah, the waves of emotions hit me really hard. So we started our first session with a free dance run through. So we warmed up for that, and I was just on the edge of tears the whole time we were warming up. It was kind of comedic in a way, because not everybody gets to see me in this like vulnerable state all the time. Or most of the time I'll have a good cry, I'll own it, and then I'll be fine afterwards. But this one lasted, I was teary-eyed the whole time. But anyway, we had a free dance run to do, got into our free dance starting position, immediately shut everything off. Like, I had to. I knew, like, I just gotta get through this run through, train what I need to do, and then I can go home and rest. Hit our beginning position, music plays, I'm great. The run through was great. We finished the run through, hit our ending position. As soon as I hit the ending position, I came out of it and burst out into tears. That's never happened to me, unless it's like happy tears after a competition like Boston World. But it was just my emotions and my anxiety that I was feeling in that moment. I just released it after the run through. It was the weirdest thing, just to finish a run through and a program, hit my ending position, and then just let everything out and cry. But those tears still lasted another couple of hours. Like, it was the weirdest thing. Our coach made a joke and said, maybe you should cry more often or feel like this more often, because that run through was great. And it truly was great. But in that moment, I knew I just had to trust our training, trust my partner, trust our team, and just do this run through for training purposes. And now that I've done that in that state, I can do it. I can do it anytime, anytime. So that was good training, interesting training. But something new that I experienced for the first time, where it was prolonged. And yeah, that was one really bumpy day. I remember going home that day and just laying on the sofa with Linda and cuddling her and crying and just having my mopey day. And I needed it, clearly. The next day, I felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. And I felt like I needed that day. I needed that breakdown. Just to bring me back down to earth, level me out, level out my nervous system as well. I think maybe coming back from China, that got a little shaken up. My Uber Eats is here. 1 second. Great timing. So training's been great. It's been rocky. It's had its ups and downs, but that's what makes us the athletes and human we are. And Tim and I feel really good going into Finland. We made some adjustments to some costumes a little bit and just elevated them in a way. And at this time of the season, I think that's kind of what happens. You start the season with what you pictured and what you want. And then as you see your programs develop, yourself develop, things change, and they will always change. You'll never be comfortable in this sport, especially in an Olympic season. So Tim and I are really excited to be in Finland, to be competing at this Grand Prix with some incredible athletes, and to be on the world stage with all of them and get to perform in front of you all one last time on the Grand Prix circuit. After Finland, we actually are signed up for another event in Tallinn, which is only a 2-hour flight ferry away from Helsinki, Finland. So we will be staying in Europe from Finland to do another event on the Saturday, Sunday, the week prior. So we're actually going to be in Europe for more than a week this time. So we've packed a little bit more in our suitcases. And then we come back to Montreal for a week and a half-ish. And then it's straight back to Europe for Spanish Nationals. And yeah, it's going to be a busy couple of weeks. So because it's going to be a busy couple of weeks of traveling, competing, etc., Linda's looking at me like, what do you mean you're going to be gone for 3 weeks? She's not bothered, actually. She's not bothered because she gets to go to daycare every day and be with Kat and Solo. So the next couple of weeks are going to be a little bit more inconsistent with whatever this is when we have a name. So I'll be back with you guys when I get back from... Am I going to do it the week I get back from Tallinn? The next podcast will be in a couple of weeks. We'll be waiting here on the brown sofa for you all, and we can't wait to talk about everything that will have happened in Finland, Tallinn, Spanish nationals, everything around it. I'm sure there's going to be a lot to talk about, a lot to debrief. And like I said, we're not far away from the Olympic Games right now, so things are moving really fast. And I hope you're all still following along, because it's going to get even more exciting. Thank you all. Ciao. I ordered way more than I expected. You can sit here while we film, but you can't usually sit on the sofa while we eat. You know better than that. Cheers. You're licking your lips.